Okay, now let's do another video. Finding the slope of a line. The slope of a line. And we get two questions here we're going to answer. We are going to answer. And the first one, let's go with this one first. It says, find the slope of the line that passes through the points 4 minus 14 and 14 minus 2. What we need to know about this, there is a formula we need to use. We have to use to solve this one. There is a formula. The formula, we have it here. The slope, if we call that as slope, which is equal to rise divided by run. But if we take a look at this sketch we have here, let's say that we get 2 points, 2 x's. We get the first point in the x-axis. This is the x-axis, and over here we get the y-axis. 2 points in the x-axis. The first one is x1, and for x1 we will get a corresponding value for y. Okay, if we follow the graph, this is x1 here, and we get x2 over here. These are 2 points we get in the x-axis. For each point x1 and x2, we will have a corresponding value in the y coordinates, in the y axis here. The corresponding value for x1, if we bring it, this is the first point. This is for x1, just for the sake of explanation, okay? This sketch. And this is the corresponding value for x1. And for x2, we get the corresponding value over here. And we follow these 2 points to graph the line. This is the graph, the green line. All right, in the green line, we get all the information we need to find the slope of the line. So now let's go over here. If we, the right direction, if you go from the y direction, okay, from the middle here, this is 0, 0, that's 0, y, x equals 0, y is equal to 0. If we go up, we rise. If we rise up, as we can rise down. And this here, we're going to run. We can run to the left or run to the right. So if you rise up, so the sign of y will be positive. If we rise down, the sign is negative. We run to the left, the sign of x is negative. We run to the right, the sign of x is positive. So let's go and take care of this slope here. We said rise over run. So for this point x1, we're going to rise. The corresponding value is here. And we get this graph. Let's say that if we need to rise at a certain point, once we are here at that point to find the slope, we're going to rise up here. This is rise. We go up the y direction. We go up. This is rise. That's what we have here. And run is this part here on the x direction. Even though we're not down here, but at least the run is parallel to the x-axis. The rise is parallel to the y-axis. So rise over run. So what's going to happen here? We need two values for the x to find this part over here, this little part between x1 and x2. To find this part here, we need to subtract where we started, which is x1, from where we stop at x2. So this is x sub 2 minus x sub 1. This is the little part, the small part we have here. Okay, this is the small part we have here, and we might want to put that. That's x2 minus x1. And let's go for the rise over here. This is the run. For the corresponding value of this, we get this point here for y, and this point here for this y value. And for this part here, this is the graph for this part. That's the graph we have. And this run corresponding to that run down here, x1 and x2, that's why we get the x1 and x2. But this is the rise, okay? This is the rise. We get y1 over here. This is the first y1, and y2 is over here. That's y2 over here on this side here. So to find this part of y, okay, we need to subtract y2 from y1, because you always subtract from where you end from where you start. Okay, the reason for that is if you start at 0, you stop at 3 to find how many units you've covered. You don't say 0 minus 3. You call 0 where you started and 3 where you finish. So it's going to be finish minus start. Okay? So it's going to be 3 minus 0. That's what we're talking about here. So x2 minus x1. So finish minus start. Over here, for the y as well, this is going to be finish, which is y2, minus start, which is y1. So now, once we rise, this is the formula for the slope. So the slope is equal to rise over run, equal to. So the rise is this part here. Okay? That's this part. We got it here. That's this part. So which is y sub 2 minus y sub 1. So y sub 2 minus y sub 1. That's the rise. Over this run from here to there, which is, and the corresponding value of that point here, if you go down here, that's x1. And that point from here to there, y2 corresponding x value is x2. So that basically I'm dealing with this part over here. So this is x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So here is the formula of the slope. Every time you need to find a slope, you will use that formula. All right, so this is the formula we're going to use right now to find the slope of these 2 points that passes through these 2 points, the line. All right, for understanding what I'm going to do here, this is the first pair, the first point. Let's call that x1. We'll call that one y sub 1. This is the first point. Okay? This is x sub 1, y sub 1. That's basically what I got here. For each x, you get this the corresponding y value. And you have it. Now, this is x sub 2, y sub 2. That's what we have here. You see, x sub 1 is 4, y sub 1 is minus 14. X sub 2 is 14, y sub 2 is minus 2. So we're going to plug the values in this formula here. Okay? So I'm going to say slope is equal to y sub 2. I'm going to back here, check to see, minus 2. Let me put my sign, my fraction back here. So this is y sub 2, that's minus 2. Follow the formula, minus. I'm going to do this minus sign here. Minus. That's the formula, minus, okay? And y sub 1, y sub 2 minus y sub 1. Y sub 1, that's minus 14. So basically what I'm going to, since I get a minus 14 again, I'm going to put this in there like that. So that this negative sign can influence the one in front of 14. Over, and I'm following what I'm doing here, over x sub 2, I go back to my points. This is x sub 2, 14. Minus, that's the formula, minus x sub 1. X sub 1, that's 4. So there is no way to put another parenthesis because this is not minus 4. So this is equal to minus 2. So this is plus times, let me change that color for you to see. So this is minus, this is minus here, minus times minus. So I say times, multiply by. Times minus is plus. So minus times minus is plus, so plus 14. So this becomes plus 14. Plus 14. Plus 14 minus 2 plus 14, okay, over 14 minus 4. All right, this is equal to minus 2 plus 14 is 12. And 14 minus 4 is 10. So we get 12 over 10. This should have been the answer. However, we need to simplify this fraction. And let's go for the GCF. The GCF of 12 and 10, okay, the GCF is 2. So you divide this by 2, you divide 10 by 2 as well. And in the end, the answer is 6/5. So 6 over 5, and we call this, that's the slope. Slope, which is the same as m, because you might say m, or you might say slope. And this is the answer, guys, to the question. So the slope is equal to m is equal to 6/5. All right, that's for the slope of this line that passes through the points 4 minus 14 and 14 minus 2. Okay. Now let's go and work with the other problem here. Find the slope of the line represented by the equation 10x plus 3y is equal to minus 9. This is a little different from what we are asked to find here, but at the end of the day, it's going to be the same thing. But I just wanted you to see this one here. 10x plus 3y is equal to minus 9. This is called the standard form of the equation of the line. Okay, this is the standard form of the equation of the line. The standard form goes like this: ax plus by is equal to c. Ax plus by is equal to c. So as you can see, a is equal to 10. Yes, I get the same x. B is equal to 3. All right, equals, that's equal sign, and c is equal to minus 9. This is the form. However, ax plus by is equal to c is the same as what I wrote down here, y is equal to mx plus b. So if we play with this, we're going to find that one. This is the standard form of the equation, but this type is called the slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. But these two are the same. They are the same. Here it's a little easier for you to find what you are asked to find. So y is equal to mx plus b. This is the first part of the equation, mx plus b, that m is the same as the slope. That's the slope. So if someone wants you to find the slope of something written like this, you just go to the number in front of x plus b. So what we need to do, we need to take that standard form of the equation, transform it into something like that. And once we finish, whatever is in front of x is what's going to be our slope. We just take it and give the answer for the slope. Okay, guys, this is what we're going to do. So now, how do I transform the standard form of the equation into this slope-intercept form of the same thing? So if you see that we get y over here, we need to make sure that we isolate this y. That's what we need to isolate. That's why we're here. But before we do so, we need to find a way to divide by 3. But it's going to be our last step. Before we do this, we need to get rid of 10x over here. Take a look at to see where the x is over here. We need to move that 10x on the right side of the equation. So let's subtract 10x. Okay? That's what we are going to do now. Minus 10x. You see that? But whatever I do on one side, I should do it on the other side of the equal sign. So I'm going to say minus 10x over here, because I want my x to go over here, because according to this equation, this is the form I'm going to be using. I'm going to transform this equation into that form here. But I should get x on the right side of the equal sign. So that's what I'm having right now. So 10x minus 10x, this is 0. So I'm left with 3y. Okay? We are left with 3y, and I'm going to get 3y here is equal to, remember, I get minus 10x minus 9. So I add these two. I cannot say minus 19 because 10x is not the same as 9. Okay? They're different. 9 is just a constant, and 10x is some kind of expression. We don't know the value of x. They're not the same. So I need to just write them down. They are all different. So now, we need to isolate y. All right? That's what we need to do, because according to that form, we need to get y by itself. You see that? Y by itself. But what we do to get y by itself, we divide by whatever is in front of y, which is 3. That's good. So we're going to get rid of this. So once we get rid of this, but whatever we do on one side of the equation, we should do the same on the other side. We divide this one by 3, and we divide minus 9 by 3. Okay? We do the same thing. And so this is gone, right? So we get y. Yes, we have isolation. You see that? They're trying to look the same. They're getting to be equal to each other here. We get minus 10 over 3 over 3x, all right? Minus 9 over 3 is 3, minus 3. Oh, look at this. Look at this. So what we have transformed that standard form of the equation into something like this. But this looks like what we have here. If you see y, we get the y here. M is the slope in front of x. Oh, this is whatever is in front of x. See? All right? That's what's in front of x. And b, you get that b here is equal to negative 3. That's okay. They don't ask us for b. They only ask for the slope we have up here, the slope. But I told you that when you get that form of equation, y is equal to mx plus b, the slope is, you see that? That's what I wrote here. The slope is the number in front of x, not x, but just the number. This is what I underline. That's why I circled. I circled whatever is in front of x. X is not part of it. So now, they want to divide the slope. I'm going to write slope is equal to m, because m is the same as slope. But I'm going to write this one here. This is minus 10 thirds. And this is the answer of what they ask. The slope is m is equal to 10 thirds. Okay, guys, I hope this helped. And if you have any questions, please just write those on the comment and tell me what type of problems you want me to work on, so that I can present it to you. And until I see you again, have a good time, and don't forget to share and subscribe. See you in the next video.